Breaking news coming out of Manchester United, and this could be the massive one. Carlos Baleba is now closing in on a move to Manchester United. I am buzzing. So after months, well, realistically, like more than a year of speculation, just surrounding the Brighton midfielder, United have actually made their move. Negotiations have accelerated, and we could now be approaching the final stages of this transfer. Finally. Let's just see, because it is Man United after all. But what has actually been agreed? How much are Man United going to pay? What are the personal terms? And when could Baleba undergo a medical? These are all the questions every Man United fan are asking right now. So, most importantly, who is actually reporting what? Where have we heard this news from? Is it reliable sources? And do we definitely trust the words of journalists from sources of media, shall we say? There's plenty of rumours flying around right now, so let's separate the facts from the noise. Let's get into it. And just remember what happened previously. Manchester United wanted Baleba last summer. Brighton's evaluation of Baleba just effectively killed the deal straight away. We went in and Brighton were like, yeah, it's going to be expensive. Reports at the time had Brighton valuing Baleba like 100 million, 100 plus. With some reports obviously putting the demands even higher than that. United obviously refused to go anywhere with that deal back then. Such a high figure. We're not going to do that, are we? 100 million, no chance. So fast forward, obviously 12 months. Situation looks completely different as of now, as suggested before. Reports now are suggesting Brighton's valuation has fallen considerably. The Guardian obviously reports Brighton currently value at around 75 million, while United believe they can negotiate below that. So if United eventually get this completed around 65 million, they'll feel like they've had a potentially good deal there going on. You're potentially talking about a saving of like tens of millions compared with the figures being discussed last summer, which was far too high, as we can all obviously agree. It just wasn't right for the club, it wasn't right for the player. But the last year for Baleba's form has obviously made a difference in the valuation, with his form dipping slightly, with his head being turned, I think personally. But we'll never know, will we, until he comes out and says, yeah, I was having half an eye on Manchester United. So it's all looking extremely positive. So as with any transfer, there is another part of this story. So the player side doesn't appear to be the problem. So Baleba's agents and party do not seem to be any issue for Man United at all. Personal terms have reportedly been agreed, as previously said in the video. Sky Sports say Manchester United have already done a 5-year contract ready for Baleba to sign once the transfer has formally concluded. Baleba wanting Manchester United isn't something that suddenly appeared today. As we mentioned, it's been going on about a year now. So Fabrizio Romano repeatedly reported during this saga that Baleba has been keen on this move all the way through this issue. So there were even reports earlier this year that the verbal agreement reached previously remained. So it previously remained valid from 12 months ago because it was that certain it was going to happen, and the player was still very keen on the Manchester United move. So this isn't something United desperately trying to convince the player of last minute, trying to push it through towards deadline day. It does look like it's been set in stone for a while. So Baleba does want the move, United want the move. The final obstacle is United and Brighton completing the club-to-club agreement, which is obviously the transfer value and how long and the structure of that payment as well. It's not all sunsets and rainbows, because there is something we do need to talk about Carlos Baleba, and it's currently that he does have an ankle injury. Earlier this month, that understandably created doubts over whether Manchester United would actually go ahead with this transfer and continue pursuing Carlos Baleba. However, the latest reports indicate the injury is not considered serious enough to prevent Manchester United proceeding with the deal. So now Sky Sports are reporting that Baleba is preparing to travel to Manchester ahead of a medical. Obviously, United's medical staff are going to be precautious on the ankle injury and the previous injury that he did have at the start of the season, and will thoroughly assess that ankle injury before anything is actually sort of put pen to paper as well. The fact that preparations for a medical are being discussed. Tells you how far these negotiations have progressed in the last few months, up to a year. So we are making moves. We are making moves. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? We are making moves. We are making ground. Let's just hope United can push this through and make it count. So who exactly is Carlos Baleba? Carlos Baleba is 22 years old and a Cameroon international. Brighton signed him from Lille in 2023, I think it was, and the replacement for Moises Caicedo. Statistically, you can immediately understand why Manchester United have been interested for so long. He's powerful, he's aggressive, he's athletic, and can carry the ball through the midfield, through the thirds, very quickly, very effectively as well. He recovers ground extremely quickly, a bit like a Declan Rice type, and he's also very comfortable receiving possession under pressure. I did actually watch a video where he was taking it like the Man Matic, spinning and doing turns and stuff like that. Crucially, he's still only 22-year-old. United aren't potentially spending £60 million plus on somebody approaching their peak years. Tielemans springs to mind, but obviously that's 35 mil. They're buying somebody they believe can come an elite Premier League midfielder, pushing the boundaries of even what he's doing right now, which is substantially good for the age that he's at. Everybody knows this can completely change the physical profile of Manchester United's midfield. Carlos Baleba gives United something they've desperately needed. Legs. Someone capable of actually covering enormous amounts of ground. You look at Casemiro and Mount and Menu and Agate, they weren't quite there. Someone winning possession, immediately driving United forward, someone who doesn't necessarily need 3, 4, 5, 6 touches before progressing the ball up the field. He's already accustomed to the Premier League, which is obviously a massive positive, being accustomed to the speed and the physicality of the Premier League. There's no question about whether he can deal with the physicality of English football whatsoever. If anything, he's thriving doing that. We've already seen it. The question is whether Manchester United can take that raw ability and mould it and turn Carlos Baleba into one of the best midfielders in Premier League football, like Chelsea have done with Moises Caicedo. The potential is absolutely there for Baleba. And to be fair, you've got to give Brighton credit here as well. Signed Baleba from Lille in 2023 for a reported fee of around £23 million. We're potentially talking about Manchester United paying somewhere around 65 million roughly. That's another enormous piece of business from Brighton. They're very good at picking diamonds in the rough, shall we say. The Times also reports that Lille are due 15% of the future transfer, which will obviously have an impact on Brighton's final decision and proceeds from the deal. Once Brighton appear set to generate a significant return on a young player, they identify early who can actually replace them. So let's just see who they decide to go for and see if they can pick another person, another player, another superstar or wonder kid to make that next million. For around 65 million, I actually really like this. Yeah, there's risk. His performances haven't always been consistent in the last year or so. But like I said at the start, I think he might have had his head turned a little bit. Currently an ankle injury that United will obviously need to examine, but if they pass the medical, that's absolutely fine with me. 60 million plus add-ons, still enormous amount of money. 22-year-old though, but you're still buying the profile Manchester United have been crying out for. Like we mentioned earlier on, athletic, powerful, Premier League proven, young, huge potential, and perhaps most importantly, he genuinely wants Manchester United, as mentioned previously in all reports. So United walked away when Brighton wanted around £100 million. I am completely okay with that. We don't want another Anthony or Sancho or anything like that. They waited, they've come back, and now they potentially get their man for considerably less, which, let's be honest, Man United don't normally do. They just go, yeah, go on, we'll give you it. So overall, 8 out of 10 for me. I'd rather Tchouaméni, I'll be honest with you, or a Tonali. Obviously that's not going to happen. So the next best thing, Carlos Baleba. So let's quickly establish the sources, because this is an important break in transfer news. So first of all, we do have Sky Sports News. They say that Manchester United are close to a full agreement with Brighton. Baleba is prepared to travel for a medical, and a 5-year contract is ready, which is absolutely unbelievable since he's only 22. Moving on to The Guardian. The Guardian say United have made an offer worth £65 million. £60 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Personal terms have already been agreed, which is huge. Obviously, you normally do the personal terms first, just so you obviously know you can talk to the team. We've got The Times. United have submitted a £65 million bid and negotiations are ongoing. We have TalkSport. United are in advanced negotiations and a deal is expected to come in below £75 million. Why they've worded it like that, I don't know. But throughout the wider saga, the boy, here we go, Fabrizio Romano has basically said Baleba's desire to join Manchester United and the existence of an agreement on personal terms has already been agreed. So, reputable sources, which we love to see. We're no longer talking about one random transfer account saying that this is happening on Twitter or X. So, we are getting regular, reliable sources. Major outlets reporting significant movement on this transfer. So, it looks like a green light so far, but we'll soon see. The major outlets are already reporting that it's a done deal, but we haven't had confirmation as of yet. So, right now, Carlos Baleba to Manchester United, extremely close. A deal worth potentially around 60 to 65. Personal terms agreed, 5-year contract already prepared. Baleba understood to be prepared to travel Manchester for his medical, but was still waiting for 100% final agreement on that between obviously United and between Brighton. So, and then of course we're waiting for the all clear and the official announcement from Manchester United to say Carlos Baleba will be wearing that red in Old Trafford next year. So the Man United fans can breathe, take a deep breath and wait for that announcement. Is Carlos Baleba the midfielder United have been missing for multiple years now? If the final price is around 65 million, would you pay it? Let me know right down below, and let me know if you're a Manchester United fan as well. Subscribe, because I'll be following this transfer right through the medical, the announcement and his potential debut. Obviously regular reviews on the channel as well from after the game. Carlos Baleba to Man United. This one looks very, very close. Let me know how excited you are. Come on, United!